Hey guys, it's Amber. Ignore the sounds of rush hour traffic and my windy apartment. I have all the windows open because I wanted to keep the air off while I film, but today I'm coming to you guys to show you that I truly have a problem. And that problem is I buy way too many books. I came home and this was waiting for me. And then I realized how many times I'd come home and had books waiting for me in the past couple of weeks, and we don't need to talk about how many times it was, but today I'm gonna bring you guys a book haul just to show you the books that I've managed to amass in the last 3 to 4 weeks. So let's just jump into the video. I'm your problematic fave. So I'm gonna start with some books that I picked up from the library, just because at least those aren't books that I actually own and have added to my ever-growing collection, and then I'll show you my latest book of the month book, and then everything else, which is the majority of it. So let's just do it. I only have 3 library books to show you guys. I almost always have something checked out of the library, so this is nothing new. I will link below to other library book hauls that I've done. I love using my local library and encourage you to support yours as well. The first library book I have to show you is Around the Way Girl by Taraji P. Henson. It's her memoir. I think Taraji's great. She has a great personality. It's a pretty short book, so I figured I'd grab it. I don't actually know a ton about her. I'm not even sure where she's from. But oh, she's from DC? Yeah, DC. But it'll be cool to kind of learn more about her life. I have another memoir sitting in my checkout on Amazon, and I'm trying to convince myself that I don't need to buy it and I can get it from the library, but it wasn't at my library, so that's another story. The second book that I picked up is Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman. It's his I guess not necessarily retelling, but his stories based on Norse mythology. I have never read any Neil Gaiman, and I haven't actually heard that this is the best place to start, but I've heard so many good things about him that when I passed by this on the library shelf, I couldn't help it. I decided to pick it up and just give it a try. Worst comes to worst, I'll return it unread. Last library book I have to show you guys is I'm Sorry to Think I Have Raised a Timid Son by Kent Russell. I have heard this title before, but I'm not actually 1000% sure what this book is about. I know it's a collection of essays. I think it has a lot to do with sexuality, gender roles, and just how we kind of force men to conform, and I think it's going to be really funny, so I'm excited to get into this too. A lot of nonfiction. Like I said, this is one of those nonfiction books I'll probably reach for in the next couple of weeks. Next up, I wanted to show you guys my book of the month pick, and I chose The Book of Essie by Megan McLean Weir. I've already started this. I've only read about 30 or so pages, and I really like it so far. It's about this family, kind of based on like a super mashup of the Duggars and like a John and Kate plus 8, where it's this like super Christian family that lives their whole lives on reality TV. Then our main character Essie finds out that she's pregnant. You learn that right at the beginning. It's not a spoiler, and it kind of is like how the family is going to deal with this scandal, whether they're going to force her to get married or do like a secret abortion. So super interesting. Again, another short read. I just need to spend some time. I feel like this is the kind of book that you don't really want to read in pieces. You want to just kind of dig in. So when I have a little bit of free time, I might pick this up again and just try to plow through it. I have a flight coming up in a couple weeks, and this might be a good flight book. The next 3 books are 3 that I picked up on Amazon. I buy a lot of books on Amazon just because you really can't beat the prices, and if you have Prime, they get there in 2 days, so how would you not? First book is my current read, and it's called Yes We Still Can: Politics in the Age of Obama, Twitter, and Trump by Dan Pfeiffer. If you too are a friend of the pod, you probably have either pre-ordered or plan to read this book soon. I'm a little over halfway finished, and I really like it. You can totally tell that Dan was a communication strategist because the way that he lays out plans and evaluates situations is so communication first, and I can relate to that. I was a communications PR major in college, so I totally get it. And if you love any of the Crooked Media podcasts, you will love this book just because the way that it's written, it's totally like you're listening to one of the shows. If you're looking for a good book that tackles politics in a way that's really digestible and funny but still will make you think, I recommend checking his book out. The second book is one I was so excited to see released because I absolutely adore this person, and it's Well That Escalated Quickly by Franchesca Ramsey, also known as Jessica Lee, if you followed her since her YouTube days. I think her career trajectory has been amazing and totally deserving all the success that she's gotten, and I'm really excited to read her book. I know that she has dealt with so much craziness online, just being like a celebrity personality, an internet personality, and having so much access. She's dealt with a lot of people who kind of just like come for her for no reason, and she's another one that I don't really know a ton about, but I would like to. Last book is another author that I'm a huge fan of. I've read only one of her works before, but I plan to get through all of them because I think that she is incredibly smart and thoughtful in her writing and the way that she puts pieces of literature together, and that's Roxane Gay. So I picked up her newest, Not That Bad, Dispatches from Rape Culture. She edited this book. She did not write all of the stories or essays in this book. It's a collection of essays of women who have dealt with sexual assault or sexual violence in some way, and I think that it is so important to read these stories and support these women by letting them know that their voices are heard, and that, you know, they're not just being whispered into the darkness, that we're paying attention, and that we want to do something about the issues that they bring up in this book. So this is one that I really want to get to soon. I have been excited about it since I've heard of its release. And if you are interested in really just getting into the issues more and hearing really good own voices representation of issues like sexual violence and assault, I recommend reading Roxane Gay's book Hunger, where she talks about how sexual violence and her own sexual assault have impacted the way that she really feels, moves, and like believes about her body. So that was the first thing I ever read by her, and I thought it was genius. I'll link to also some essays online that you can read of her, just because I think that she is great and we should all read her books. I'm gonna read probably this and then Difficult Women next, because that is another book that I've heard nothing but good things about, and I think she has another book coming out this fall that I can't wait for, but this is what I'll be starting with. All right, are you still with me? Are you booked out yet? Now we have this guy. Oh my gosh, it's not that heavy. All right, maybe it's okay, let's just open it. The first book I put in my cart was Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. This book has been super hyped forever. I've heard nothing but good things about it. Everyone seems to love it. All I know is that it's about a theater trope and that it's kind of science fiction-y, but in a more contemporary literary way, which is my preferred way to take in sci-fi. I'm not a huge sci-fi reader, but I am excited to get into this. It's not a super long read, but I mean, everyone has just said such great things about it that I'm excited to give it a try. Second is more of an new adult contemporary book. I have read this author before, and that is The Singles Game by Lauren Weisberger. She's the author of The Devil Wears Prada. I never actually read The Devil Wears Prada, but it's one of my favorite movies, and I read the sequel, Revenge Wears Prada, and I know people have mixed feelings about that, but I really liked it. I thought it was pretty true to the characters and with still giving some liberty. Mind you, I'm saying it's true to the movie characters, not the book characters. But yeah, I am excited to get this. This one is about Charlie as our main character, who kind of like makes a deal with, like, I guess a life coach, and hijinks ensue from there. I'm gonna go into this one a little bit blind because I'm not 1000% sure what it's about, but I feel like I know this writer's writing style pretty well, and I think I'll enjoy it. Next, I picked up Scythe by Neil Shusterman. Everyone is saying great things about this series. This is the first book in the series. It's a young adult dystopian fantasy type novel where there is no more death. I'll just read the synopsis that's on the back. A world with no hunger, no disease, no war, no misery. Humanity has conquered all of those things and has even conquered death. Now Scythes are the only ones who can end life, and they are commanded to do so in order to keep the size of the population under control. So this follows two young adults who are interns to become a scythe, the only people that can kill to manage the population sign, and they have to master the art of taking life, knowing that the consequences of failure could mean losing their own lives. So I was intrigued when I first heard this, but I never thought I would pick it up, but I'm glad I did, and if I like it, maybe I'll give the second book a try. This next book is massive. Oh my god. I picked up a bind up from Book Outlet by Philippa Gregory. It is the Order of Darkness bind up. This is books 1 through 3, which is the completed trilogy. As you can see, she is thick. Very thick. I just know that this is a fantasy, young adult fantasy that's based on medieval times, which is like those are my trigger words. Fantasy, medieval, I'm down for it. It's a young adult fantasy novel that is set in medieval times, and that's pretty much all I know about it. I don't know why I chose to get the bind up instead of just trying to find one individual novel, but Reagan at Peruse Project really talks highly about Philippa Gregory's books, and I think that she either just read this series or one of her other really popular series, so I've been wanting to give her a try. I have another one of her books that I'm excited to start, and I just think that a lot of hers are set with like literary or historical settings, like think kings and queens, knights, that kind of thing, and I live for that. So this will be a bedside book for sure. I won't be throwing this in my bag a lot, but I'm excited to get into it. I can maybe read it over the summer, like a couple of chapters a night, like Harry Potter or something, even though none of the Harry Potters are this big. The last two books are two more nonfiction reads. I don't know why I just did such weird hand motions. You Can't Touch My Hair and Other Things I Still Have to Explain by Jessica Williams. She is one half of the Two Dope Queens podcast, which is hilarious. I still have not watched the special on HBO. I don't know why. Maybe it's on Netflix. Either way, I am slacking, but another really short nonfiction memoir. I just think it's going to be funny. I think it's going to be hilarious. I'm excited to start reading this one, and it's mostly just about her experiences as a black woman in America, which obviously I can relate to. So things that black women have to deal with on a day-to-day, like telling people that you can't touch our hair or microaggressions in the workplace. So anyone who wants to reminisce over that with me, I will read your book. And the last and probably my most anticipated, and it's going to be the most emotional book of the bunch, is Promise Me Dad by Joe Biden. I'm a huge Joe Biden stan. I miss the Obama Biden bromance. I thought it was beautiful, and this is his, not his memoir per se, but it goes over the year in which I believe he's found out that his son Beau was, yes, dying of cancer. So I'll be starting this one probably closer to the fall, to be honest, because I'm just not ready to feel these feelings. I might save it for nonfiction November since it's pretty short, but I'm glad to have it. I was happy to see that Book Outlet had it because it isn't that old. It's just about a year old, and I think it was like $7 on Book Outlet when it retails for $27. So I will take those savings and take this book. Alright guys, that's the end of my book haul. Thank you so much for watching this video. I promise I am not going to buy another book this season. I don't even know if I believe me, so you probably don't believe me either. Alright, make sure you thumbs up this video if you liked it. Subscribe to this channel for more videos. I upload every single week, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye!